It's pretty impressive to find the different things that can motivate you. Some people are really motivated by success and get really excited when something goes well. Other people get really motivated by disappointment or failure. And this is one of those sessions where I am finding myself moving from one to the other. I was really excited about this whole prep. I've been just wanting to get more into it. I've been looking forward to this session for a while now, and I was a little bit disappointed, and I think it's because my expectations got set pretty darn high. First of all, what I end up taking for a double in this workout is literally an attempt at a double at the heaviest weight I have ever handled without a belt and without knee sleeves. And some people say, well, your knee sleeves don't give you very much. Well, yours may not give you much, but mine historically have been very helpful. And some people say, well, a belt doesn't give you that much. Well, mine historically has been very helpful. And when I originally wrote down this progression and made my plan for what this first session was going to be like, I had intended on adding a belt and knee sleeves. It's the most aggressive pre-planned jump that I have, and working up to it, I felt pretty good. I was a little bit cold, but I don't want to make excuses. Ultimately, what happened is I took this 565 here, which I've hit it for one single that I was really, really displeased with the depth. I end up hitting it here for a double, which was the plan, that was the goal, and I didn't like the depth on either rep. I feel like the first one was a little high, the second one was maybe closer, but I couldn't really tell. I didn't like the angle I filmed it at, and I definitely did not feel happy with how those reps went, especially when I felt like I could take it lower. At the time, I kind of ignored the fact. So there's a picture of the bottom of that second rep. It's a little too borderline for me. I don't want there to be any doubt. I don't want it to be close. I want it to be ownership of the weight. And, you know, I decided I would take it again. So instead of working up to one top double at the most weight I've ever squatted without a belt or knee sleeves, I took it for two doubles. I think this one was a little closer. I am still not thrilled about it. I think that I could go deeper. I feel like if I would have had the focus on this second set that I feel like if I would have had the focus on the first set that I had on the second set without the fatigue of the first set, it would have been right there. So I feel capable of it. That's the bottom position of the second rep of the second set. So the fourth rep total. Afterwards, I ended up being a little more fatigued than I had anticipated for obvious reasons. I ended up hitting 94% of my planned max for two doubles instead of for one double. There, I think my foot position was a little off, and so I had to move it mid-set, and ultimately I was a little bit frustrated at this point. But that's the situation, and if anything, I'm more motivated now to figure this stuff out and make sure that I don't approach any session lightly. It was pretty bold of me to decide a few days ago, you know what, I don't want to add the belt and sleeves back, and I'm not going to adjust my planned jump in relative intensity. And so I basically made a plan and said I'm going to stick with it, with the exception of adding the stuff back in. So I think on Saturday's squat session, I will probably throw a belt on and maybe my knee sleeves, just to kind of reaccustom myself to that, so that when I hit my sets of 5 next week, it won't be kind of a crazy, weird, awkward feeling, because I just haven't worn a belt or my knee sleeves in months now, and ultimately I think it's been good. I think that my mental conditioning has come up a lot from it. I think that my ability to grind through reps has improved, and I feel like ultimately my real strength base has gotten a lot stronger, and now I'm ready to transfer all of that work and all of that progress into some more specific carryover to my competition squat, where I'll be wearing a belt and my SBD knee sleeves. So, you know, takeaway from the squat session of this, I wasn't super happy. I've squatted worse. I've squatted higher and kind of had to deal with it, but I feel like I want to keep a higher standard, so I'm not going to let myself get away with it during this training cycle. And my expectation is that this was one of the more difficult sessions just because of the aggressiveness of that first jump in the planned work. So I dropped it down to 80%, which was force 80, and those felt pretty bad, so I dropped it down further. I was thinking 75%. Nope, I need to get the relative intensity down because I had to do more work in that top range. So I dropped it all the way down to 70%. That was 425 for 2 sets of 6. Just for the sake of volume. There was not, I figured the magnitude was more important than the training effect in that particular circumstance. Afterwards, I moved on to my bench pressing, still trying really hard to control that bottom position with these, my competition setup. I'm still not sure if I'm going to tuck my feet back and get on my toes for this upcoming contest, or if I am going to try to just gut it out and go flat-footed. I definitely prefer a tucked position, and I always have, but just in this last training block, I have been committed to improving my flat-footed bench. We'll just see how it goes. I've got some time to make that decision. It was decent today. I mean, it wasn't, I was still kind of hung up on the squat and how I was feeling about that. Those could have been a little bit better controlled at the bottom of the rep, but they felt smooth, and I didn't feel super beat up during them. So afterwards, I moved my grip in a little bit. I would call this a close grip, but it's more like a moderate grip. It's close compared to where I've been pressing in my competitive stance, but it's still not a true close grip. And I took, I want to say 265 here for a few sets of 8, and then I did a set of 4 because my triceps were cramping up. Went inside, moved them around a little bit, came back out and hit one more set of 7 to call it good, and that was the session. So, positives and negatives. Made it through the session. I'm still on track. If anything, it has inspired me to, just be more aware of what I'm doing and not take anything for granted. And I am appreciative of the progress that I've made, and I just need to keep that in mind. So here I linked 2 little screenshots of my pre and my post session tracker. This is how I track everything, and you can kind of tell that I have the volume tracked. I actually separate out the warm-up volume. I used to track that, and I take it out now in the day total that you see in the bottom left-hand corner. That only includes working set volume, so I don't want to be tracking my warm-ups or anything that's generally under 70%, or anything that I'm not putting a real effort into. And on the right side, I have the intensities, lifts at those intensities, based off of whatever my training max was for that day, and then I average out the intensities to see where the day's volume and intensity were on kind of a continuum, to see kind of as we go closer to the meet that my intensity should be increasing a bit and the volume should be coming down a bit until we hit 3 weeks out, when things just get ridiculous and crazy. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, learned a little something, and are maybe encouraged by this experience. If you did like the video, please leave a like, rating, share it with your friends, comment down below. If you didn't like it, go ahead and watch it again, see if you change your mind. And I will talk to you guys soon. I've got some other ideas coming up for more videos, and training will resume on Thursday. Bye.